All right, Algebra 1 students, let's look at Unit 4, Lesson 16, Finding and Interpreting Inverse Functions. So our goals are, I can explain the meaning of an inverse function in terms of a situation. So when we have a situation, we want to use that inverse function to describe what's going on in the situation and make sure there's connections between the two. When I have an equation that defines a linear function, I know how to find its inverse. So when we have a linear equation, we should be able to find the inverse, what takes the output back to the input in reverse. So it's essentially what we've been doing with our solving of equations. We're just rearranging the problem. All right, our vocab term is still inverse. So our inverse of a function. So the idea here is that our original function takes an input to an output. Say input 1 goes to an output of 5. Well, then the inverse of that would take an input of 5 and take it to an output of 1. Notice how it reverses the input and the output and switches them. All right, so our warm up here is we have a situation. We want to try and come up with equations and their inverses. So Lynn is comparing the cost of buying cookbooks at different online stores. Store A sells them at $9 each and offers free shipping. Store B sells them at $9 each and charges $5 for shipping. Store C sells them at P dollars and charges $5 for shipping. And store D sells them at P dollars and charges F dollars for shipping. So what I need you to do is write an equation to represent the total cost T in dollars as a function of N cookbooks bought at each store. So we want to use N and T to make equations for each one of these situations, kind of modeling what's going on. And then write an equation to find the number of cookbooks N that Lynn could buy if she spent T dollars at each store. So essentially, we make a function in number 1, and then we find the inverse function of it in number 2. So if you find the function for store A in number 1, then find its inverse in number 2. Please do that for all 4 if you can, or at least try and get as many of them figured out as you can for question 1 and 2, and then bring that to class tomorrow, and that will start our discussion. Thanks.